Getting advice from a financial planner, I'd got advice from a financial planner once before, but they hadn't really given me a lot of options or ways to help. It was sort of like, well, you go away and do this and you go away and do that. Time factor as well, finding the time to actually sit down with someone and go through the things that I needed help with and what I wanted to talk about. So those are probably the two major factors. And having Christian make himself completely available to me when it suited me and come to wherever I was, ask all the right questions and get all the information and kind of take everything out of my hands was what made it easier. Basically was saying, just give it all to me and then I'll take it all away and then I'll come back to you. You know, it wasn't like, I didn't feel as though I had to do a whole lot at the start. I just felt like I could just unload, say, this is me, this is my situation, this is where we're at. And then he just said, okay, I'll go away and I'll come back with some ideas and some options and things that might help. So I didn't feel it was though it was a big daunting process right at the start. I kind of felt like he was going to help me and walk beside me rather than just giving me a little bit of advice or something that I could, work towards. I think he understands, where people are at, what their personalities are. He understands that, especially with family, what that means. And just understands the sort of person I am, the sort of person my husband is, because my husband doesn't really want to get involved in any of this stuff. He just wants to work hard. And so, Christian kind of was flexible about that and how he could manage all the different personalities in our family, and then helped us, set up our super fund, which self-managed, which is a big thing for us because we came to Australia later in life. And we're really all worried about what it was going to mean for us. And so being able to help us do that has been a big achievement. He's just really personable. And he's got good common sense and he understands the real world. He doesn't live right up here and talk to you like he's up here. He understands what goes on down here and he talks simply and makes everything clear. Yeah, so you kind of just feel comfortable and you can tell him how it is. And I think it's good for me that I'm accountable. Like I know if I'm going to do something that I shouldn't do, I'm going to have to tell him about it at some point. Yeah, I would recommend it because, and the reasons why is that, setting yourself up financially is really, really hard if you don't have the specialised skills to do it. I don't know anything about money, about anything about, how to get ahead and how to do things. I see people getting ahead and I think, how do they do that? And there's, everybody's got their special skills. And if we hadn't come to someone like Christian, then we would never have got our self-managed super fund. We would never have sort of started to think about the future and how we might better look after ourselves. We would have just ended up probably in a lot of trouble when we retire. So I think it's the retirement is what, for me, is the most important thing. For my kids, it's setting themselves up financially now, because if I had the advice that Christian had given me 30 years ago, then, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be happily, off, financially set up, but I didn't have that advice. Just really scared about the future. Not having a lot of super, not knowing what that meant for us. And just not being good with managing money. Not really. I think I've sort of covered it all. But yeah, I think that everybody should have somebody that they can talk to, someone who's an expert in financial matters. I think it's really important. You know, I've had people say to me, oh, you can manage it yourself. You don't need to pay someone to do it for you. But unless you have the expertise, it's not possible to look after your finances and set yourself up for the future and for retirement so that you can be comfortable and not have to worry. So I think it's a really good idea to look into it and find someone that you're comfortable with. And just like any business, there's people out there that provide one level of service, there's people out there that provide another level of service, but you've got to find what's comfortable for you and what works for you. But I would recommend it because I don't have that expertise at all, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't.